Hello. Hello. Good day. Hello. What's up, guys? Greetings, everyone. I hope you're having a great... What day is it? Wednesday. A great Wednesday. Good day, everyone. How you doing? My freaking light keeps falling off. Damnable light. Hello, Quindly. How you doing, baby? Hello, Ragnar. Hello, Jedi. Hello, Archon. Hello, Azimar. Hello, Lady. Hello, Kaz. What's up, guys? How's it going? Today, we'll be painting this puppet, if I manage to get the light to behave. Of course. Okay. Okay. Kinda. Okay. Hello, Rascal. Good day. Hello, Little. What's up? What's up? Try to just get the right amount of light, because I don't want to overdo the light, otherwise I don't see the model well. Okay. So, what color do you guys think we should be using on this baby? Yes, it is Kaz. Bone USA. What color do you guys think we should be using on this baby? Hello, Garlo. Oh, Anne was painting this one too? Oh, okay. I don't know. Not green or yellow. I don't, like, I wanted to go for a lilac, but I have been doing lilac quite a bit on my own model that I've been painting, so I'm not sure that would be fun for me. It would be nice to do like a palette cleanser kind of paint job as well. Brown and oranges. Brown and orange. So wait, so let's see if the model can tell us a story. She has a staff with a crystal in it, so she's like a mage lady with a blade. We can do... I want to see how you shade the forest greens, so darker greens and browns. I don't know if I want to keep the paint job dark though. We can, Fine. Let's do a green cloak. Fine. Let's get to work. How you guys doing? How's your day going? No, it's fine. Like, colors don't matter too much anyway, so we can go for a greenish color. We can have orange red accents on the mini, like we can maybe make her a redhead or stuff like that, and that will work. A little under the weather. What's wrong? I swear, like, I hate my lighting setup. Okay, so let's start from the cape. Let's paint that one. I think we will find answer on the painting of the other colors after we have done some progress on this green. This green will tell us what it needs once we have it a bit more defined. So at first I thought I was gonna do stippling on this cloak, because I felt like it would be working nicely, considering it felt like more of a heavy cloak. But as I look at the arms, they are very puffy as a sculpt, which means that maybe satin would be nicer. So let's start from that. I'm gonna be using the colors you guys want me to use, but I won't be painting this lady to look like a druid, but rather more of a noble woman. I will. Hello. But it's not. Can you show my son, Al Pacino? Hello. I was like, Al Pacino isn't your son. We are his sons. He is the All Father. But no, you meant your son, yes, of course. Al Pacino is the Odin of the Minidan universe. Okay, let's wet blend into Oblivion. Let's go. My little alpaca friends. I'm just gonna be getting this green to pop a bit more, and then we can work on I don't know, maybe having some yellows added to it. Maybe I can have yellow added to it right now, actually, because this green is a bit dead. Okay. So these Bones USA minis are great, by the way. The quality is super nice, and the details are crisp. Very, very nice minis to work on. Just looking for the volumes right now, nothing too crazy happening. There we go. Okay, let's start by web blending these two together. Thank you, Gwindley. I'm good. I have been very involved in the paint job of Virgo. That model is taking a lot from me, but in a good way. I am really, really happy with how she's turning out, and it definitely feels like an improvement for me, you know what I mean? Hello, Archon. We're just gonna wet blend these colors in, so you know, both of the base coat and the highlights together, mixing on the model rather than on the palette. Of course, the wet blending aspect can only take me so far, so if I want to perfect this paint job, I'm gonna have to layer a bit more, but for now we're just gonna be wet blending and hope for the best, really. There we go. Yeah, they are part of the same world, yet so different little. How exactly do you do that? Well, wet blending, if I do it with different colors, you will see it more easily. Let me do it. So, let's say I have this green here. And I have these oh, I don't know, whitish yellow here. If I want them to blend, I can spend a lot of time layering in between the two layers, creating softly a gradient, or I can wet blend. And by wet blending, I mean picking... First off, I base coat the two colors. Usually when I wet blend, I always base coat the two colors. The reason why is because it's a lot easier to work from base coated paints and wet blend them after than doing the blending immediately from nothing, because you are dealing with a lot of other variables which make it a lot harder. So to make it simple, always base coat. And then what you do, you just go back to one of the two colors, you pick it up and you replace it on the separation. Then you pick the other color up and you place it as well on the separation. And then you gently mix them together. Like this. You see that we are creating a gradient, right? So you could just go back and forth between the colors. And keep it up as much as you want until you have the perfect blend you want. It's never gonna be perfect here because I'm painting over an unprimed model thingy, and it's not even... But that's the idea. And then after you're done with your after you're done with your wet blending, you can go back like I'm doing just now and reinforce the saturation by layering very gently, very thin paint, almost none of it on the brush. You can just, like, you can see on my finger how thin this paint is. You can barely see it. So very gently, you just go back to the model and you get the paint to give you the coverage you want, as well as the color you want. Very gently, very gently. Yes. Be gentle with your tip, guys. So the same will happen here. I am base coating with the darker green. I'm going back to the lighter green, and I'm putting one into the other. Just, you can see I'm mixing them as if I was mixing them on a palette. And if I notice that one of the colors is overrunning the other, Like in this case, the light green was a bit too much and it wasn't allowing the darker green to shine, then I go back to the darker green and I reinforce it. By adding more dark green into the wet blend, I make it stronger, therefore balance the colors out a little bit more, and that allows me ultimately to gain a blend, or at least something close to a blend that I can then refine later through layering. I don't glaze very much in my painting. I only glaze to tint things or for a very, very final blend at the end of a painting. Like once I'm done painting a model or a detail, I will be glazing that detail very thinly to get that last little bit of blend, but I don't... You will very rarely find me sitting here and just glazing a blend. I would never do that. I mean, I did that, but right now I wouldn't do it because it's too time consuming for me, and ain't nobody got time for that. Considering I can get pretty much the same result much faster, I tend to prefer the faster route. Or like another thing you can do if you want to be fancy, you can do wet on wet. Wet on wet is even cooler than wet blending. You get a color, you wash it into the model like this, and since the paint is a wash, you can just go back to your highlight, keeping it much thicker, and you can paint your highlight on. Since you have a wet surface, they will blend together as if you were blending them. And this is called wet on wet, and it's a very powerful technique. It can save you a lot of time if you do it well. Incidentally, Wet on Wet is also the name of the video I watched yesterday before going to sleep. Please save me. From what, Joe? From what? Hello, Amadar. How you doing? Hello, Remy. How you doing? How you doing, Rex? Okay, this is all nice and games, but also I'm an idiot. No, I want to keep the carpet, the BBD corset in a different color. So this is all nice, but if I want this to be satin, I'm gonna have to go a lot lighter, so let's do it. I mean, shadows matter more than highlights because they give you a sense of volume much more strongly than highlights do. You might. Why don't you take a picture and post it in the Reaper Facebook page? I'm sure somebody will figure it out. It is tricky to understand how you want your lights to be balanced. Because like, if you do too much shadow, the model looks too dark. If you do too much light, the model looks uninterpreted. So the difficult part of being painting is understanding exactly how big of an highlight and how big of a shadow you want to have on your mini. That's like one of the hardest thing to understand and learn. And even if you do understand and learn it, it still doesn't matter, in a sense that every mini is different. So you are bound to have to find things regardless. Hello, Hootie. Which is why I prefer the sketch way of painting rather than layering or glazing all of my lights on, because this allows me to try things out quickly and see if I like them or not. Hello, Xul. And change them up if necessary. I don't like committing to a particular highlight or color unless I'm fully sure of it. What are you working on? I have no idea. I don't know the name of this guy. But she is one of the newest Reaper USA minis. And I was very curious to paint them. Because from the pictures they looked really good. And they actually are really good. Yeah, it's Lisette. The name isn't into. I am very bad with names. Now, like you might like how this cloth is looking, because it's kind of an emeraldy kind of cloak, like very emerald. I don't though, in a sense that it's too cold. So what we're gonna do here is come up with a way to warm all of it up. Although I reckon the only way for me to warm it up is to just add a very powerful yellow. To the original base coat, because like the green I used as an highlight was already too desaturated. So there's no point in adding light to that. But like if we do this, a bit of this, we should be able to get a strongish color. Not really. No, it's too weak. It's too weak. But maybe it's gonna be enough. Okay. I'm adding some warmth to the highlights of this green, because I don't want them to be cold. Basically, the green was looking not pastel, but it wasn't looking lively enough. It was looking, I don't know, I didn't like it. So I'm taking it through a yellow. Again, using color theory to my advantage, right? Green is next to yellow on the color wheel, which means when it comes to paints and colors, green is very easy to manipulate in warmth, because it's between blue and yellow. So you can add the blue and make it a cold green, which is what we had, or you can add yellow and make it a warm green, like very, very easily, just by changing the colors a little bit. Okay, so far so good, kinda. Thank you, Cory. Let's do the face just for, you know, for fun. It's gonna be base coating it and then making it a bit darker. If you were to order all your paints by color, where would you start on the wheel and finish? What do you mean? It's a wheel. You can't start from anything. It's a circle. Ah. I don't know, I wouldn't arrange them by color. I would arrange them by saturation. If I were to arrange my paints, which I am not. But if I were, I would have like the primary colors and then you know, the secondary colors, tertiary colors, doesn't matter in which order, and then all the various saturations. You're trying to get these skin base good. I started from a fairly bright color, but whatever. Yeah. Let's get yeah, let's darken this a little bit. Give it some redness maybe. Just gonna redo the layer with a darker color, otherwise I just don't have enough coverage here. I went too light. catching a bit of a strong light, and then we can play around and get a mid-tone somewhere in there. I can find my color. Okay. I'm using kind of random colors from my palette. I should probably just redo the palette quickly, and rather than using random paints that I have there. That would probably be more profitable. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is much better as a midtone. I was the problem with skin tones in general is that you are basically working with grays. The skin tones don't really have much saturation, at least not in the mid-tone. But you have to be very careful with measuring it properly. Because if you have too much gray, it looks undead. If you have too much orange or red or whatever it is that you're using, it looks fake. And that's something that you see often. On Instagram and stuff like that, like people going super saturated with the mid-tone, and the skin looks even if it's a technically good paint job, the skin looks like weird. Thank you. Yeah. But at the same time, not enough orange makes it look fake as well. So finding the mid-tone is the complex part, really. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can for the sake of speed, but at the same time, I don't seem to be able to allow myself to do it. Because it is bothering me, so I guess I have to spend a bit more time working on this. Skin tones are my favorite thing to paint. So every time I'm painting one, I get bogged down in doing it and then improving it and then redoing it and then improving. Because I just enjoy doing them a lot. Hello, Asgard. Good win. Yeah, it is a great face. I just wish the freaking... Wait a second. I have like a blue light coming into my room and it's really playing with my eyes a lot. Okay. I miss being new to mini painting. I couldn't notice all of these things. Now that I can, they bother me all the time. Okay, much better though. I can actually see now. That's great. All right. So she has this cheeky smile that I would like to keep in the paint job, and if possible, enhance a little bit too. It's not terrible. Again, I just wanna I just wanna get this face to look right, you know what I mean? Like I want this little smile to show through because it's the best thing about this mini. So it is difficult to really make it pop because, you know, you're working on a female skin tone. So you don't really want to overdo the shading, but I can use color to my advantage, I think, here. And just play a bit with the cheekbones. There we go, something like this. What a nice mini, man. I love it. His face is so cool. And the details, again, like the quality of the cast is perfect. Absolutely perfect. In order to do face as well, you need a bit of understanding of anatomy. The very basic understanding. It doesn't need to have a like academic level, but a little bit of understanding of anatomy will take you a long way when painting faces. Or like makeup. Like if you know how to do makeup, you are at a good spot when it comes to painting a face. So like we're building up the face very slowly, but we're getting there. What's the secret of painting eyes? Or do most people just skip them? I will paint the eyes and show you how I do it. First off, you don't want to use a pure white when painting eyes, but you want to use an off-white. So maybe a very light skin tone color, but not pure white. Because pure white makes the eyes look fake. So step 1, don't use pure white. Step 2, it's a good idea to paint the white of the eye diagonally. So rather than painting the white like this, you do a diagonal brush stroke. So let me see if I can zoom in a bit more to show you. Alright, so step 2 would be to let me see if I can keep them in steady. I see. Okay. Step 2 would be to just do this. See, a single brush stroke in a single direction from the corner of one eye to the other will give you the white of the eye. If you instead try painting it like this, it's gonna be very difficult to get the shape right. So that, and you do the same of course on the other side too. The paint is right. It's like 1,000,000 degrees. Trying to see if I can stay in camera for you guys to show you. Okay, then you want a black line. Black lining is actually very difficult in a sense that it does take a bit of an understanding of brush control and management and all of those things, but this is not a necessary step, but it is a step that makes the paint job look better, which is getting a bit of black paint, having almost none of it on the brush, and also having it very thin, and then painting in the black of the eye. So you separate the eye from the eyelid. like that. And then with black or whatever color you want to do the eyes with, you can just use the tip of the brush oops. You can check to see if you like how they look, and then you can finish them up. Something like this. This works. This works. And then all I gotta do now is just do a lot more work to get the face to look nice, so defining mostly. It's mostly a problem of definition. We can do an overall glaze, I think, with this color here to take down everything. I mean, it's not bad, but I can do better, I think. It's time to get the cheekbone, the cheek right. I want to have like this cheeky smile. Cheeky breaky smile. And also with a bit of more of a pink. That is very true, Joe. Like, nobody really expects to get their eyes right at the first go. Elomir. We're painting Lisette, the new Bone USA copy. So good, dude. Okay. Let's give it a hair color while we are here. Actually, let me hide my hideous appearance for a minute. I wonder when they're going to invent a USB thing that goes well in either side. Like, they did do it for phones charger. Yeah, Type-C. Yeah, Type-C actually already exists. It's just that every single device I have doesn't have it. But yeah, there will be a day in the next, I don't know, 10 years, where if you make the joke about the USB BBD not going in right in the first time, people will not get the joke. The same way that, you know, if you make a joke about SMS not having enough character, having too short of a character limit, and you trying to find every way you could to shorten the words, it's something that kids nowadays don't get it. They don't remember how it is to try to have a message go out through SMS without having to send two at once. Those were dark times. Those were really dark times. Why am I casting such a... She looks a bit spooky. Maybe she's a bit too cheeky. Like she's a bit spooky. Also, like, I swear I am gonna cry in just a minute. Okay. I am trying to understand why. What is it that it's making me cast such a strong shadow when I lift the mini? I don't know, I don't have many stories left about us being old. I'm from Italy. Yeah, she does. She does. I'm not against it in the sense that I do like it. Genoa. I'm from Genoa. Dude, it was the dark times. Even when internet was around, it was a dark age. I remember downloading a picture of Gogeta back when I was like in elementary school, and at the time it used to like download and print pictures of Dragon Ball characters to keep, you know, and show your friends. And like I remember waiting for like half an hour for the picture to completely load. It was like 1 pixel per second. It took forever. I still remember that time. What a terrible age. Man, I can't believe we're out of that. Those were terrible times. Those were terrible times, dude. MSN, guys. Does anybody remember MSN? Having all of those edgy quotes in your profile, you know, and bothering people with the dreen sound, like dreen. Ah, what a great thing. Might as well have been a donkey by how slow it was. Yeah. Remember setting like stuff down for download and leaving the PC turned on for like 3 days in a row? Like when I downloaded World of Warcraft, the client, man, it took me like a week to get it downloaded. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes, Mir. Oh my god, man. I'm so glad those times are over, dude. I honestly can't believe the internet made it, in a sense that it was so terrible to use when it first came out that legitimately nobody should have used it. And yet we did. But like, if a technology like the internet came out today, we wouldn't like it very much, I don't think. We would give it like a lot of 1-star reviews, being like, man, this is so slow, it takes forever. But you know, considering at the time it was fast. We didn't know about fiber optic and stuff, so at the time it was fast for us. Yeah, exactly. Like, we just didn't know better. Like, I remember classmates in school like bragging because they had the 3 megabyte connection. Well, it did survive, and now we're here. Painting puppets at the speed of light. Yeah. Okay, let's paint the hair just to frame the face. So maybe she looks a little bit less scary. Because right now she's very spooky. No, nothing. But like, I don't know. How is Bug Lips? I haven't seen him in so long. I was very lucky in my childhood because where I lived, there was a store that was amazing. They would basically let you trade in your PlayStation 1 game for one lira. At the time, it was lira, and you could get another game from the bin, which meant that I could quickly try different games for very cheap. I never really bought a video game for my console because I would just be able to trade in games. Yes, War, we do. Okay, I'm glad it's fine. Yeah, back in the days you didn't have online reviews for stuff. Like, you either knew somebody who had the game or you were just trying it out, man. That also was the Dark Ages. How did we even survive all of that? How did we manage, man? We are heroes. We truly are heroes, dude. I remember spending literally thousands of hours playing Age of Empires. And I thought I was very clever. I thought I was very clever because, you know, when you get into Age of Empire, they ask you to give a name to the profile. And since it was an empire building game, I was like, well, I was like 6 at the time. I was like, well, I'm gonna call myself Luca Magno. But rather than writing the U as a U, I wrote it as a V, like the Romans would. And I was like, and I felt so freaking clever. I was like laughing with myself and shit. I was like, yes, I'm so smart. Good times. Yeah, how did we survive? It's like, if I were to be sent back in time at those times, I don't think I will last a week now. Like, how can I function without, you know, my memes and the YouTube stuff and all of that? Like, is it even life? And even before that, how did they survive back in the days with no TV? When they just had, like, not even radio. Life must have been miserable, man. Wow. Reading books. Yeah, like, with some time, we really forget how lucky we are. We have so many nice things that our ancestors didn't. Yeah, I remember when I got the PlayStation 1, the game that it came with was Bubsy 3D. And boy, was that a terrible way to start my journey as a PlayStation 1 player. Freaking Bubsy 3D, man. My first PlayStation game was that game. Yeah. Polizia. You write it with a Z, not a C. In Italian. Also, that was an ambulance. Oh my god, Joe. That's pretty cool. You know, because I think it's also worth something, isn't it? The collection, I mean. It must be worth something. The original BBDs. Considering with the success of Critical Role and all that, there must be a lot of people interested in collecting D&D. I wanted to go live on my own stream after this one, but I don't think I will because there is something happening with the lighting in my room and it is bothering me a lot, and I don't want to risk making a mess on the model I've been painting. So I'll wait for a better... I don't know what it is though. It's like everything is blue for some reason. So I'm... Are you getting fires around? You mean in the area here? No. What other color vibes would you get for the hair? A brunette? Or a black? No, it's actually very dark outside. It's night here. It's almost 11 p.m. Very possibly it might just be me being tired and not knowing. But sometimes it happens. Ah, don't worry about that. I will have plenty of energy then. So I measured Virgo for the plinth I'm gonna have to get, and I will need a 10 by 11 plinth. I don't even know what to freaking find a 10 by 11 plinth. They're gonna cost me. It's gonna cost me a lot of money too, I think. But I am hydrated. I don't need to drink. Okay. Well, let's keep building things up. We can do the cloth in a, sorry, not the cloth, but the corset in a burgundy kind of color. Okay, so they do exist. Good. Nebula, thank you for the raid. How you doing? Yeah, these lights are actually driving me insane. Believe it or not, they're absolutely driving me insane. Like, not being able to see things properly is really... Yes, you did indeed ride. Yes. Marie! Welcome in, welcome in. How was your stream, Liquid? Alright, let's do the blade. Any reference for a color scheme? When I paint, I have a hard time picking color schemes that work together. Even using a color wheel isn't help much. What do you mean by drab exactly? Because maybe your problem is not entirely related to the color scheme, but it might be more related to the saturation you choose. Because like if it feels like your colors are washed out, it's mostly because you're using too much of the saturated color. Well, if you're looking for something that pops, you need color. You need a colorful paint. Yes, you can, Hiterain. Thank you. How do you like it? It's we're doing a very simple paint job here. But, you know, eventually, I mean, it's gonna look nice. I was just mostly really excited about trying out these new line of models that is so good when it comes to quality of the detail. It's very crisp. You're looking for a brunette hairstyle? You know, I don't know if I did do it on Patreon. She was blonde, yeah. The very, very first one we did for Patreon was blonde. Okay. I think that's fine. I don't know about the green. Maybe we can give it a bit of a glaze. Maybe. At least we have a glaze. With this dark orange towards the bottom to darken it. Because I would like a little bit more of a gradient to be happening across the greens from the bottom to the top. So we can first off increase the shadows just a little bit. Here. Like this. So this is how I use glazing, to modify colors. I don't really use it to blend or anything like that. I just glaze to modify. Any other application for it takes a lot of time. We can also paint the satchel while we're at it. Green is a color that for some reason I don't seem to click with. Like, I never quite liked green. I don't know why. It's just a color that, I don't know. I like the shades of yellow green, blue green, but like green green, for some reason, it always feels odd to me. Maybe because it's not very realistic in a sense to see such a strong green in something. Because almost nothing in real life uses such a powerful green. So it might be that. I don't know, it just looks odd to me. Yeah, the focusing of the light is the funnest part of a paint job for me. I really enjoy doing it. I don't like the corset. Looks I don't know, too it's not like colorful enough. Everything else around it is very colorful. The corset just looks like it's a bit dead. So we can give it a bit more color to hopefully rescue it. Because having all of this darkness in the middle of the mini, I don't know if I like it. So let's just take it out a notch. Another thing we can do is paint the necklace, because all of this darkness here is not helping either with the paint job. So giving it a bit of color might actually help. I really need to finish painting it though, because I also need to get the skin tone painted up around it. Actually, no, that is that looks like clothing. Okay. There is something wrong with the green, but I don't know what it is. I don't know, maybe it's simply the fact that I don't think it's defined enough, maybe? I don't know. Because knowing myself, I probably want to have more of a focused light. So it's very likely that my brain is telling me that there is something wrong here because there is too much light. Yeah, and I think my brain was actually right. There was too much light. So now I can just darken a bit more. Because like when I started the paint job from the skirt. So I didn't know how light I was gonna go with the arms and everything else. So because of it, I went very light on the skirt as well, but I didn't have to. See, this is part of the back and forth process that I use all the time. That's why I never commit to calling something complete unless it's complete. I will always say something like, oh, this is kinda finished. Because like it maybe looks finished and it feels finished, but I know it's not finished because I'm gonna have to change my mind at some point later on. Because the paint job will always make me change my mind. Like in this case here, we can have a bit more shadow up there, so I can focus even further towards the face, which is good. It's good. Our little orangey thing here, we can give it a bit of light on the leathers. The color doesn't have very good coverage, so I'm gonna add some white to it to make it cover. I think it's a pretty good Burger King, actually. Pretty good Burger King quality. They are, the details are crisp. The details are very crisp, and I like them. The Mini is accepting the paint, no problem. It doesn't feel gummy like it can happen sometimes with the normal bones. I primed it, and it accepted the primer fine. So overall, I would say it's an improvement over the original bone. A much big improvement. They're really good. They're really, really good. I don't know what the plan is for these particular way of casting minis, but if this is the future for Reaper, I will be very happy. Because this, in my opinion, this is a considerable improvement over the others. But let's go with a green here. This is really good. Also, I have seen on the Reaper Facebook page people posting pictures of their Bone 5 minis. Now, I have to admit, I didn't really had taken a look at the whole minis they had available in the Bone 5, but holy cow, you guys have some really good minis. Like, all of the Odyssey set is really cool with the sirens and everything. Yeah, really nice. Hello, Eat. How you doing? Hello, we're painting Lizette. From the new Reaper Bone USA range. Great mini. Having a lot of fun with it. I still am not sure about the face, but I mean, maybe if I painted the lips. Looks like my character. You painting minis is cool, especially if you play D&D, I would say. Being able to get your character exactly how you want him to look. Okay. I think we can stop here and go back to her next week when we finish her and then start another paint job. I think I'll be able to finish her and start something else next week. So, yeah, we're good, guys. I wanted to go live on my own stream, but as I said, unfortunately, I cannot see the things properly. I don't know if it's the... Yeah, even this model here, if I look at it, they're like... I'm very familiar with this model, but still, it feels weird. Maybe it's just my eyes being tired, I'll be honest. But if you want to watch me paint on my own channel, you can follow this BBDs here. I also teach mini painting on my Patreon. I will be uploading soon in the next few days the guides on the paint job of this model. So yeah, if you want to learn how I painted this guy or how I paint in general, Patreon is the place to go. Or if you just want to hang out with me while I paint my own minis, Twitch is there. Otherwise, I will see you next Wednesday. Yes. Now, I don't know if Justin is here to beam me out. Many BBD dots. Many BBD dots. So many BBD dots. Justin? Okay. Yeah, let's go see the otters. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. Have a fantastic week as well. Bibbidi. I'll see you on my own stream or next week for the completion of Lisette. I will have time to think about it too and see if I like this green or not. I might change the green out for something a bit more subtle. I feel like this green is way too intense. Anyway, I'll see you later, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.